Hey, what up, guys? It's Protonic again, and this is part 2 of my game collection video for PlayStation 3, and just picking up where I left off on the first one. Next game is Heavy Rain. This game was very unique, very different than most games that are out there. It's a very interesting game in that you don't have a typical control scheme for this to move your people around. You actually mimic actions that are shown on the screen in order to get your character to do stuff. So that was different. And there's also a very unique story system whereby if any of the 4 characters on the front cover there, if any of them die, the story can actually continue. There's a bunch of different endings to this game, depending on who's left alive at the end, and actually depending on the choices that you've made throughout going through the story, which is also very interesting too, because whereas some of these games try to give you a morality system, or you can make a choice between like a good choice and a bad choice, this one took a really different approach, and sometimes seemingly insignificant things can make a big difference in whether or not a character lives or dies, or if you get an important piece of information that affects the story. And so I think there's something in the realm of 30-some endings for this. Yeah, it's very, very cool, very different. Another one that's a lot like a movie, kind of, that you're just participating in to a degree, but very cool. I had a good time with this game. Next, Red Dead Redemption. I think everybody in the clan has this. Yes, this was a lot of fun. I never thought I would have this much fun playing a Wild West game, but they really pulled this off well. Rockstar did a great job. Everybody at first saw this and was thinking, oh, Grand Theft Auto on horses. Well, and that's kind of what it is, but there's a lot more story to this. Like I said with Grand Theft Auto 4 in my previous video, that one had a lot of story emphasis on the main character. This one has it even more so. I really enjoyed the story to this game, and I thought it was very well done. It has a lot of the great kind of classic cowboy elements to it. Lots of fun, lots of cool stuff that you can do. Go online, form posses with your friends. That was a lot of fun. Starting town shootouts and whatnot. We had a good time with this game in the clan for sure. I never actually got the Undead Nightmare DLC for this. Heard good things about it though, so I might have to look into doing that at some point. Final Fantasy XIII. Those of you in the clan know that I've told you I'm big into the Final Fantasy series. Final Fantasy VIII being one of my favorites. I also like 10, 12. They're pretty much the even ones there, it seems. 7 was really good too, but the first one I ever played was Final Fantasy VIII. But yeah, Final Fantasy XIII was obviously the first Final Fantasy on the PlayStation 3, so it had a lot of high expectations, and I was actually kind of surprised by how polarized people were with this one. A lot of people complained about how linear it was, and I don't know, I enjoyed it, actually. I liked the characters. The story was pretty good. There was elements of the game that I felt like it was rushed to production, so they didn't get to polish everything. But it's still a Final Fantasy game in its heart and soul, and I had a great time playing it. The music's good. That's always a big thing with me in Final Fantasy games. I love the music. And this one was a lot of fun. They brought in some elements like a rehash kind of the sphere grid from Final Fantasy X that was really good. The only thing that I've missed from the Final Fantasy series as a whole has been the fly around the world or take a boat around the world and kind of go wherever you want and have random encounters days. They kind of nixed that beginning with, Final Fantasy X, I believe. So there's no real freedom to do that, and it's the same case here. But really, this one still, I think it still held its own. I'll be probably getting Final Fantasy XIII too. So I'll definitely make some sort of review on that, because I think that this cast of characters is definitely a really good cast, and that they'll have some good stuff in the next entry. Next up, Heavenly Sword, used. This was another launch title for the PlayStation 3. I bought it because I had heard good things about it. Came away moderately impressed. It's kind of a third-person shooter platformer. I guess it's maybe a little bit like God of War. I don't know. I've never played God of War, but you know, you do a lot of battle against hordes of enemies, and you know, have to fend them off with a sword and everything. I think for its time when it first came out, this game was pretty darn good. But since then, it doesn't really hold up as good as I thought it would. I played it through, and you know, I was like, oh well, that wasn't bad. So overall, not amazingly impressed. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I wasn't as impressed with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 as I was with the original Modern Warfare. I liked the multiplayer at first, especially all the additions that they'd made to it, but I really got frustrated with how it turned into kind of a camping fest. I got really annoyed with the noob tube stuff. You know, that's just me. In the story, didn't really care for it in this one. Everything about this kind of just like, it felt like it was rushed. I felt to just get another Call of Duty out there. I felt like it could have been better, definitely in terms of story. I played the multiplayer long enough to say that, you know, I had some fun doing that, but I got frustrated with it quite a bit. So, you know, borderline, I guess. Dead Space 2. So the first Dead Space really blew me away, and so I really was hoping that the second one would do the same, and it certainly did. I was really impressed by all the tweaks that they made to this one. One of the coolest things that they added or improved was when you end up in sequences in 0G, you have full control over the movement of your character throughout when you're floating around in space there. That was awesome. There's a lot more really amazing elements to it with newer weapons. There's sequences that just kind of blow your mind where stuff is happening and you're kind of racing to get to places quick before you just get overwhelmed by enemies. The protagonist actually talks. That's always a good thing. And so it was very cool. And I've always enjoyed how Dead Space would let you upgrade the suit, and you had your weapon selections to, you know, optimize how many weapons you had in your kit and what items there. I've always kind of liked that aspect of survival horror games. So yeah, definitely a great improvement over the original. Call of Duty Black Ops. Pretty much everybody in the clan bought this game, and yeah, we had a great deal of fun playing this. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was cool the way they brought it back to the 1960s, you know, Cold War era kind of stuff, Cuban Missile Crisis, whatnot. Had a lot of fun playing this. The multiplayer improvements, this is what really brought me into this game and made me play it for a long time, with all the cool stuff you could do in multiplayer. Theater mode was probably my favorite addition, as well as all the nifty little multiplayer game modes, like one in the chamber, and they had zombies. Really, really cool, you know, gameplay modes that you can do with just a bunch of friends and kind of horse around and have a good time. I know we had a great time in the clan just duking it out in this game. I liked all the stuff that you could do with customizing your weapon. Yeah, this was very, very fun. Probably one of the more balanced, I guess, in terms of multiplayer. Yeah, it's unfortunate that they nixed some of the good aspects of this one when they brought out Modern Warfare 3. But I'll talk about that with Modern Warfare 3 later. Portal 2. So, whereas Portal 1 was kind of just an add-on that they tacked onto the orange box, Portal 2 was a full-fledged game, and it's great. It's hilarious, too. The stuff that happens with Gladys and everything, it's really cool. You have to play the first one to get a feel for kind of the Gladys character, who's the computer that kind of mocks you as you go through this thing. But it's definitely worth a purchase, especially having played the first one, because they take all the great elements from the first one and they make them better. The puzzles are much more complex. You can do co-op. You have multiple portals going on. The co-op missions are a lot of fun. You can play them online, and it's really rewarding, actually, to be able to solve these puzzles, because some of them can get kind of challenging. Yeah, I had a great time with this. I played this online with some buddies, and we had a great time solving the puzzles. You can do funny things, too, like you can, give each other high fives or make your characters dance, or even, they can beat up on each other and intentionally kill them. It's pretty funny. But it's a really, really cool game. Definitely very clever. I've never seen a puzzle game that's this entertaining before. Infamous 2. I have lots of sequels here. Infamous 2. So the sequel to Infamous, another same sort of thing as the original, with you have the electrical charged superhero, and you can do good stuff or bad stuff. This one really improved the storytelling of the first one. This one was really very cool. I was blown away by how well they brought everything together. I wasn't sure really where they were going to take the story from the first one, but I mean, you have a whole new city to explore in this one, and you even have a melee weapon as opposed to just using your electrical powers. You can actually channel it through this weapon to attack people. They added a feature where you can craft your own missions and post them online for people to try out. And there's actually a trophy if you do this, at least just make one. And some people have made some pretty cool stuff. It's kind of like zombie hordes of people that you have to blaze through or whatnot. But there's a lot of fun stuff that you can do in this game. And, once again, I think the electrical powers are probably the coolest choice that the developers could have made, because there's all these neat things that you can do with them. And they even make them more powerful with this one, with huge explosions that can be caused by charging up and whatnot. Lots of fun. So, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It's a standalone game. It's really more like Assassin's Creed 2.5. They take the same character, Ezio, from Assassin's Creed 2, I mean, and they just kind of bring it further along in his lifetime. You can now recruit other assassins to the Brotherhood. They added some more multiplayer elements to this, that the multiplayer is actually kind of fun. But it's good. It continues the story in a reasonable fashion. It felt like everything they couldn't include in Assassin's Creed 2, which was already a huge game. It felt like they kind of put that here. And maybe that's what they did. I don't know. It actually does hold its own as its own game, but as far as furthering the story, it doesn't reveal a whole lot at this point. But it's still very fun. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I am a huge fan of the Need for Speed games. Need for Speed 2 up till now, I've played just about all of them except for Shift. And these are really good. My favorite, obviously, have been the Hot Pursuit ones, where you get to run away from the cops. And the best thing about this particular game is that you can run away from the cops online, whereby you have 2 teams of 4 people driving, 4 cops versus 4 racers. Cops and racers both have weapons that you can use against each other. You can call in spike strips. You can use EMPs. You can jam the cops' radar. Awesome stuff. Of course, it's got amazing cars. And unlike other Need for Speed entries from way in the past, this one is kind of keeping up with the norm of having a huge open world where you can drive anywhere. One of my favorite modes online is called Most Wanted, where one guy on the racers team is the most wanted, and the racers have to protect him, and the cops are all trying to bust the one guy. And that person can drive anywhere on the map. There's no restrictions to where they can go. They can turn around, they can go the other way, they can take shortcuts. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's really nail-biting sometimes, too, especially if you end up being the only guy left and you're trying to get away from a bunch of cops. But it can be a lot of fun, and I've always enjoyed this game. I've played it quite a bit online and had a blast doing it. Uncharted 3, what more is there to say? They've just continued to make it more wild and crazy. It is another cinematic step above what Uncharted 2 was. I love the story in this one. Love really a lot of the sequences. There's some just insane stuff. The plane crash, the whole sequence involving the plane crash that you see on the cover is amazing. There's no other way to explain it. You have to play it really just to feel the excitement that's involved with it. It's just hard to really put into words. But these games, again, they're just so cinematic. You're playing a game, but you don't feel like you are. You're watching a movie at the same time. It's just so cool. I love these games. Assassin's Creed Revelations. As evidenced by the title, there are a great deal of revelations that come about in this game. This one brings together all the threads from actually Assassin's Creed, the original, through Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. And it ties up a lot of the loose ends, most of them anyway, for the first several games. This is where having played the first game actually pays off a little bit more. Once again, I haven't played actually Assassin's Creed 1 at all, but there's a lot of flashbacks to the original Assassin's Creed with Altair, and then you are playing normally as Ezio. But this game actually also includes Assassin's Creed with it, so if you haven't played the first one like me, you can just easily put it in a disc and upload it on your PlayStation and play it. But it's great. Very, very good culmination to the Ezio side of the story. He's in a different location. It's in Constantinople now, not in Italy anymore. But even still, the Renaissance period still is a lot of fun to run around in. Same sort of open sandbox style game. Yes, if you are a fan of the series, this one is very good, and it sets it up perfectly for Assassin's Creed 3. And lastly, the game I've been playing primarily at this point, Modern Warfare 3. I know some people, Oscar, have been kind of tentative about maybe buying this one. I like this one. It's a lot better than Modern Warfare 2. It took away some of the stuff from Black Ops that were cool, like the weapon customization with making your logo and putting it on your gun. That's gone. You can still put all the cool attachments on your guns and everything, but they got rid of that. Theater mode isn't quite as fleshed out as it was in Modern Warfare, or excuse me, in Black Ops. And one of the things that actually does bother me about that somewhat is that you can't watch the other person's first-person view. You can only see your own first-person view and just a third-person view of other characters running around the map. So you lose a little something there. They got rid of the dolphin dive. I like the dolphin dive, where you could be sprinting and then hold circle and then you dive to the ground. Don't have that anymore. But for the most part, though, the tweaks that they've made to the multiplayer in this game have really added a great deal to it. You no longer have to just have kill streak packages that rely just on kills. There's point streaks that you can use to get stuff to support your team, or you can use the classic assault packages, or there's a different one altogether where you can just earn perks by getting kills without dying. And it's really clever. I think they've fine-tuned the multiplayer to a good degree in this. The maps aren't as big and as intricate as Black Ops, but still, I've had a lot of fun with it. The story was okay. Doesn't take you that long to play it or beat it. They wrap up pretty much the threads from the original Modern Warfare. But I didn't really buy this for the story. I mean, I played it, but it's really the multiplayer on this that I enjoy. You can still actually create some of the cool game modes from Black Ops 2, like one in a chamber and gun game. You can play those. So it's actually a pretty solid game. I've been impressed with it. I wasn't expecting a whole lot, but I've been pleased with the multiplayer. So if any of you guys get this, let me know. I'll definitely be online playing. So, and lastly but not least, I don't have the game because I downloaded it. I don't have the cover ending because I downloaded it, but I have Warhawk. Obviously, I have Warhawk because I'm in a Warhawk clan. But really enjoy Warhawk. Love it. Obviously, I'm a pilot, like DW, so love being in the air. Played the Starhawk beta. Haven't been overly impressed with it. Flight in particular, is I'm still kind of waiting for them to tweak that to make it as good, or yeah, pretty much as good as Warhawk. Not sure if it'll ever get there. That's really a ground-based game in my opinion. But we'll see what comes around. I mean, I will probably be picking up Starhawk though to play in the clan and enjoy the games with you guys. But anyway, that's my collection, guys. I will make updates. I might even consider doing a more detailed review of some of these games if there's interest. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you out there online.